There's a specific editing style that makes people stop scrolling and actually pay attention. It's the same style Vox uses, Johnny Harris uses, Netflix uses. Watch this. What you just saw was built entirely in CapCut. This style works because it turns information into something people actually want to watch, and that's exactly why it pulls views. Once you understand how it works, you can apply it to any topic, any story, any video. I'm Dina, and I'm here to help you master CapCut the easy way. Let's jump in. Before we touch anything in CapCut, there's one thing worth knowing. Vox uses a specific glass texture across a lot of their videos. You can get it for free at Texture Labs. Search for Glass 141. It's free for commercial use. We're going to use it across all 4 animations today, so everything feels like it belongs in the same world. Right, the map. Take a screenshot of Google Maps, get the area you need. In our case, we're going from the US to the UK. Drag it into CapCut as a clip. Now, the default Google Maps look is too modern and clean for this style, so we want something that feels aged and cinematic. Go to Filters, type Vintage, and look for one called Roman Holiday. Apply that. Then click on the map, go Adjustments, and set these values. They are not set in stone, but they work really well with this filter. Temperature -15, exposure +10, contrast 30, highlight -25, shadow 5, white 5, blacks -5, brilliance 10, sharpen 15, clarity 15, and lastly, vignette 10. That already looks like a completely different map. Now we animate it. This is the part that makes people think it came out of a motion graphics studio. Go to the beginning of the clip and add a transform keyframe. Move ahead 20 frames and add another keyframe. Then zoom into the USA. Wherever you want to drop your first pin, place your first pin. We're using a US flag halfway through that animation, right in the middle of those 2 keyframes. Go to Animations and apply a slide up animation to it. Where that second keyframe is, add a custom shape. Go to Shapes and choose the pen tool. Make it as long as the map. Add a point where you want the animation to start. Then add another point where you want it to end at the UK. Hold the end of those points and drag to create a curve until it looks natural. Once you've got the shape, go to Settings on the right side. Change the color to dark gray. Hex code is 252525. Change the size to 5 and make it a dotted line. Add a shadow, distance 5, angle -57, opacity 14%. Play with those if you want a different feel. That's absolutely fine. Now animate it. Create a compound clip from the shape. Go to Mask, add a split mask. Go to the beginning of the clip and add a mask keyframe. Move ahead about 3 seconds, add another, and move the mask so it gradually reveals the dotted line. Press Option K to open the curve animator. Highlight both keyframes and apply an ease preset. When the animation ends and the line arrives at the UK, add the UK flag pin and apply a slide down animation to it. For the final touch, to get that Vox look, add the scan line texture effect, set the blend mode to overlay and bring the opacity down to around 20. You're done. Quick one before we carry on. If you want free assets to use in your edits right now, there's a free creator starter pack at dinaandagnes.com. You get horizontal mats, social media mats, outline frames, Apple lock to Rec 709 lot, and 15 CapCut effect tutorials. Each one is under a minute and designed to create the kind of scroll-stopping visual hooks that make people stop and watch. All free. Links in the description. This next one takes a bit more patience, but the result is genuinely one of the most satisfying things you can build in CapCut. Stick with it. Add a text layer, set the length to about 20 seconds, type your title and subtitle if you have one, and apply a swipe up animation to it. Set it to around 1 second. Now the timeline bar, add a text layer and type a long row of underscores. That's your scrubbing line. Then go to stickers, shapes, add a triangle, change it to red, reduce the size to about 75 by 75, use your judgment on this, and place the triangle in the middle of the timeline bar. Now the dates. You could type every year one by one into a separate text layer, or you could do this instead, which saves you about 20 minutes. Go to Claude or ChatGPT and paste in this exact prompt. Just gonna leave you guys on the screen for a couple of seconds. You can screenshot it. Save that file to your computer, go back to CapCut, go to text, local captions, import file, and add the SRT to the timeline. Change the font to something clean like Interbold and set the size to 10. Leave it white. Then go into each highlighted year in the text box and change that specific year to yellow and increase its size by 3. Make sure you're only changing those dates and nothing else. Now the animation. Take the date text layer and place the first date in the center of the timeline, aligned so it sits directly under the red triangle, and add a position keyframe. Set the underscore timeline bar to start on the left side and add a position keyframe on that layer too. Move ahead 30 frames, so just hold shift and right arrow 3 times. Move the dates left to align with the first date you want to show, and shift the underscore bar a little as well. CapCut will add the second keyframe automatically. Move ahead 50 frames and add another position keyframe on both layers. Now move ahead 30 frames and go to the text date, move the timeline again. Keep repeating this, 50 frames keyframe, 30 frames next date, until you reach the last one. When all keyframes are done, press Option K, highlight all keyframes on the X position and apply a rebound out preset. Do this on both the date layer and the timeline bar layer. And then add a text layer each time a new date appears and write the event, and apply a bounce in and blur out animation to each one. For the images, place each one on the timeline and match the length to its event layer. Add a rectangle mask with a feather of around 70 and apply a zoom in and fade out effect. Once you've set up the first one, duplicate it as many times as you have events and just swap the images each time. You don't have to redo any of those steps. Almost there on this one. These last 2 steps are what separate it from looking like a tutorial graphic and make it look like something from a broadcast edit. Create a compound clip from the timeline bar, dates, and the red triangle by pressing Option G. Go to Mask, add a rectangle mask, and set the feather to between 15 and 80. Position it so the center is sharp and the edges fall off into darkness. Go to Video, Basic, scroll down to Motion Blur, set it to around 60 and blend to around 70. Then create a separate compound clip from the event text layers. Finally, add a scan line texture effect across everything. Set the blend mode to overlay and the opacity to around 20. Add sound effects and music, and this one is done. This one is the opening sequence type of animation. It's fast, it's kinetic, and it's the kind of thing that makes a viewer sit up and pay attention in the first 10 seconds of a video. This is very Vox. Pick a single powerful word. I'm going to use documentary. Go online and find at least 6 different screenshots of that word appearing in articles, web pages, anywhere it shows up in context. Save those to your computer. Then drag all your screenshots onto the timeline in CapCut. Go to stickers, then shape and grab a square shape. Extend it across all your screenshot clips. Change the color to a bright highlighter yellow and scale it up to sit as a prominent rectangle in the center of the screen. Right-click that yellow shape layer and create a compound clip. In the video section, go to the blend panel and change the blend mode to multiply. This makes the yellow interact with everything below it and stains the screenshots with yellow. Lock that track so it doesn't move. For each screenshot, zoom in and reposition it so your keyword is perfectly framed under the yellow highlight. Do that for every single one. I'm just going to speed this up. Now cut each clip down to about 5 frames long. Duplicate them if they feel too short. You want a rapid fire effect. So if it's still not fast enough, highlight everything, create a compound clip, go to speed and push it up a little. Sound design on this is not optional. It's doing half the work. Choose a sharp ticking sound, something like a camera shutter, to build tension. Place a tick at the start of every single screenshot clip. Each short clip, each sound effect, one after another. Now for the styling, go to Effects, search for blur, drop it on your compound clip and set the strength to around 25. In the blur effect settings, go to Mask, choose Circle. Add a bit of feather, resize the circle so it sits around your word and press the reverse mask button. This blurs everything except the word. Go back to Effects, find Fisheye, drop it on top and set it to around 25. Then add the Scan Line Texture effect, blend mode overlay, opacity around 20. Final touch, add an adjustment layer and set the vignette to around 30. That pulls the eye right to the center, and if you want to invert the colors, which looks way better for this style, go to Curves, find the Luma curve, pull the bottom left corner up and the top right corner down. The whole thing flips. That's the version worth using. This last one is the most layered build of the 4. It looks like a lot of stamps, but every single one is there for a reason. And when it comes together, it genuinely looks like something you'd see opening a Vox documentary. Take your time with this one. Start with the background, add a crumpled paper texture, go to adjustments and push the temperature towards yellow to warm it up. Add a grid layer on top and reduce the opacity to around 20%. That's your background done. Now we build the article layer by layer. Start with the date. Add a text layer, type the date of the article, go down to background, turn it on and change the color to red. Create a compound clip and apply a slide up animation. Create another compound clip around that and add a rectangle mask right around the date label. This blocks the animation from popping up from the bottom of the screen and forces it to slide up cleanly from inside the mask. That's it. Next, the title. Take a screenshot of the article's title and add it to the timeline. Remove the background so only the text is visible. Go to adjustment and reduce the exposure completely. Max out the contrast and reduce the blacks completely. That makes the text significantly darker and more defined. Go to mask, apply a circle mask, feather it around 20. Add a position mask keyframe at the beginning of the clip, move ahead 30 frames and add another. On the first keyframe, close the mask right down. On the second keyframe, open it fully and apply an ease preset. Don't rush the masking on this next part. Getting it right is what makes it feel like the text is being revealed rather than just appearing. Now the article body text. Screenshot the text from the article and add it to the timeline. Remove the background, same adjustments as before. Exposure down completely, contrast maxed, blacks reduced. Go to mask, apply a split mask this time, feather to around 30 and add a position mask keyframe at the beginning. Move ahead 30 frames and add another. On the second keyframe, move the mask across to the other side and apply an ease preset. Now add the logo. We're using the New York Times logo since that's where our article is from. Apply a slide up animation, create a compound clip and add a rectangle mask around the logo so it slides up cleanly from inside the mask rather than popping up from the bottom of the frame. Go to shapes and add a line next to the logo. Create a compound clip from it, add a split mask, feather around 30. Add a position mask keyframe at the start, move 30 frames ahead, add another. Move the mask to the other side on the second keyframe and apply an ease preset. Now we add the subject. Go to Google, search for your person as a PNG. We're using Elon. Choose an image and add it to the timeline. Change it to black and white. Add some contrast. Reduce the highlights and blacks. And add a little exposure if needed. Duplicate this layer. Press V to hide the top duplicate for now. On the bottom duplicate layer, go to Adjustments and max out the temperature, tint, and the saturation all the way to the right. Go to Curves with the red channel and pull the bottom left corner up completely. There you go. Add a blur effect to this layer and set the strength to around 15 to 20. Make this layer slightly larger than the top one so the red bleeds out from underneath. Now unhide the top layer, highlight both and create a compound clip, then apply a slide up animation to it. Place each layer about 20 frames apart from each other so the animations don't all fire at the same time. That staggering is what makes it feel editorial rather than constructed. Highlight everything except the background layer and create a compound clip. After the slide up animation on the subject finishes, bring in a rectangle shape and position it over the headline words. In our case, loses $150 billion suit. Reduce the opacity so you can see through it and match the highlight size precisely to the text. When it's sitting right, bring the opacity back to 100. Create a compound clip from it and add a split mask, feather around 30. Add a position mask keyframe at the start, move a couple of seconds ahead, add another, move the mask to the other side on the second keyframe and apply an ease preset. Where the highlight starts, cut the subject layer, add a blur effect to it, go into the blur effects mask setting, add a circle mask, set the feather to around 80 to 90 and reverse the mask. That keeps the subject sharp in the center while the edges soften. Where the subject's slide up animation begins, add a transform keyframe, move ahead about 20 frames and add another. Then increase the size slightly to create a subtle zoom. Apply an ease preset to that. Add your music and your sound effects and that's the whole build done. If you want ready-made sound effects to drop straight into edits like these, our sound effects pack has 64 different effects with over 100 variations, clicks, impacts, pushes, movement sounds, all designed for this kind of editorial cinematic style and easy to layer directly in CapCut. Links in the description. And if this video was helpful, a like and a subscribe means a lot. It helps us know we're making the right stuff. Now go create something awesome. And I'll see you in the next one.